morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela with another edition of Notes on the News, and you're watching it on channel Be Fabulous You. Thank you so much for clicking on the video. Let us proceed. This is where I read to you headlines, so you can just kind of catch up on the going-ons since the last time we chit-chatted. And I might have some thoughts on the headlines based on just having read the headlines or having researched the subject area or having some personal experience or having read the article or whatever. But it's not news. It's just my thoughts on the news and on the news feed. So let us proceed. California police busted a multi-million-dollar weed fortress based on electric bills and all of this stuff, and I guess security precautions they had. This whole I don't know if the people were black or white, but I feel like the black people who sell weed, especially more and more black people who deal in the weed business, are like criminals, can't get into the weed business legitimately. The white people who get into the weed business and make a bunch of money, they're I guess business geniuses or something. So I'm kind of always like a little stressed out by these kind of stories, especially because there are so many people who are in jail who are part of the criminal justice system, the enslavement system, the new slavery, the new Jim Crow, whatever you want to call it, over some weed. I don't smoke, I don't drink, but I feel like I know bull when I see and hear bull. And it's like alcohol to me seems like it's work. Anyway, let me just... Japan court rules father legally responsible for secret IVF child. So somebody used his sperm, or maybe I don't know what the story is, but he didn't give consent, but the baby is not here, so he's responsible. And it reminds me of, remember what had happened on Being Mary Jane? That's what I thought she was going to do. I thought that she was going to just secretly use the man's sperm to get herself impregnated. Not when she had froze it in the freezer, but I'm talking about when she went to the IVF people and they had harvested it. But then they were like, no, he got to sign the paperwork, and he said he want the unborn child that's not even been in the belly, that's see whatever, to be destroyed. And I was like, oh my God, they destroying the baby, even though I don't know what to call it. But I just but then it's kind of like they not together. But that's what I thought that Mary Jane was gonna do, but the system in place was like, no, you can't do that. He said no, so no. NBA fan won $10,000 with a horrendous looking half-court shot that actually worked, which just goes to show you can't judge a book by its cover. Ethiopia Red Terror aide Alimu jailed for red crimes. I never really heard of the Red Terror, but I'm really interested in Ethiopia because Ethiopia, some people say it's one of the only countries or places on the African continent that has not been colonized by Europeans. So it makes me want to learn the Ethiopian language and get like that in my spirit. Like that non-colonized by Europeanness. Speaking English is like speaking English, French, Spanish. It's like even your very language, your thoughts are colonized by the oppressors. So I was like, I want to learn a African language, but then what language? And I was like, ooh, I think I want to learn some of that language that are associated with that region of the world, because then people, it might be something in their culture, language, vibration that, I might want to embody and inhale and just imbibe, just swim in. Yeah, I want to go to Ethiopia. But I don't know anything about the Red Terror. I really don't know much about that region of the world. Actresses are reportedly planning to wear black on the Golden Globes red carpet to send an important message. I get the idea in theory, but I'm like, don't people wear black to formal events all the time? But maybe it'll be obvious. Like, I don't know. Like, it should have been some color, like something where it's like obvious. Like, oh, I don't know what color that would be. Like black and white checkers, or I don't know, something where it's like it's not in style and we wearing this to show that patriarchy is some bull and we standing up to it now, Norwegian Air just announced cheap new routes from the U.S. to Europe starting at $199. It's like a commercial for Norwegian Air, but really it's like, wow, you could get to Europe for $190. That's cheap. It's like a commercial really for travel. Go see the world. Go get you one of them tickets and just go and tell me all about it. Tell me about your experience, it says. Congress has its own exclusive subway. Here's what it's like. I had no idea. It's only for people in Congress. You can't use it, boo. Congress have a whole bunch of special stuff just for them, like special insurance, special payment plans. Like even when they leave Congress, they get money for they hook themselves up. They don't do it for the rest of us. Holy cow. Stormy the cow makes a break from live nativity scene. Like a nativity scene, like, oh, it's the manger and the holy baby Jesus and all of this. And the cow done broke away twice in one day because the cow probably don't want to be part of the nativity scene. The nativity scene is not part of the cow's belief system. The cow did not audition for the part, and the cow does not want the part. The cow wants to be free. And we trying to make that cow part of our agenda. That cow want to be free. And I totally I have some empathy for some freedom, and I just don't be feeling good about, forcing animals, people, whatever to do nothing. I feel like give us free. That's how I feel. Now, maybe it's wrong for me to feel empathy for animals because animals are not humans, but I feel like animals have feelings and agency and desires too. I ain't been around all the animals, but I mean, have you met Miss Bella the video vixen? Shoot, she got her own opinion about things. She know what she want, what she don't want. Nigeria law graduate denied call to bar for wearing hijab. They like she should have wore her scarf underneath her wig. Then she could have got her call to the bar. It's just really amazing to me how invested society is in how women dress. Like, you gotta cover, you don't cover. Like, it's just like, can you just let a sister breathe? Dad, can I just do what I want to do without your just get off me. Get off. It's just like intense. Does it seem, is it just me? At 17 years old, he killed a deputy. At 71, he could get parole. 17 and 71, that is such a huge difference in age. It's a black person. I clicked on the article, and I had to wait for a while for the image to come up because, pictures take a long time to load because I was curious. And it was like a situation down in Louisiana. Now, I don't know if the man did it, when he was actually a boy when he did it, if he did it. I don't know why he did it, if he did it. But I know that some stuff that I thought was a good idea at 17 seemed really stupid at 21. So, I mean, I just can't imagine like some choices or thoughts or ideas that I had at 17 being held accountable for them now. And I'm like 45, 40, I'm not even 50. What if I had to be held accountable? What if you had to be held accountable for the thoughts and ideas and actions that you took at 17? And it's true in life, a lot of times you do make decisions and you don't have the wisdom really to make those decisions. And we are held accountable for decisions that we make in small ways and in large ways. But I'm just like, dang, that's intense. 17? I mean, to me, that is just so young. And then we got into a whole conversation. I was talking to my mother about it, about like when people go from juvenile, like, well, he should, he maybe at not 21 should he be let out if he did the crime, but maybe like at 25. But then I was just reading this article the other day about a child going from juvenile to the adult system and how traumatic it is and how terrible it is. And then I'm like, well, we should have a system in between juvenile and adult. And then I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like caught up in this whole mindset of the prison industrial complex. It's like it's in my head, it's in my consciousness. In other parts of the world, they don't even have, such a need as we have for locking people up and having all of these different systems and variations of systems to keep people locked up and punished and enslaved. And I'm like, oh, But anyway, so whoever you are, sir, you're in my thoughts and in my prayers. And I guess the person that you killed as well, I don't really know what the story is, if you killed him, as I said, or the person who died. But, you know, prayers up and out, you know, to all of us, and in, up and out and in to all of us. May we all have peace and wisdom and insight. 11 of the most expensive homes for sale in America's most expensive zip code have an average listing price of over $17 million. Here's what you get for your money. Jerusalem, Palestinians killed in fresh clashes with Israel. It seemed like it always be Palestinians getting killed, or is that just like my impression? I don't know. Pennsylvania is the most linguistically fascinating state in America. Who knew? Pennsylvania. Amsterdam's Schiphol Airport. Police shoot knife man. Oh my gosh. Okay. It seemed like I read something happened here other than the knife man getting shot, which is terrible, but just peace, peace, peace. African anti-jihad force gets $130 million after meeting with French leader. Sumatran rhino hanging on by a thread. And they were talking about how rhinoceroses are extinct and stuff like that, or going extinct and stuff. Australian sentenced to 46 years for torturing and killing niece. And it kind of disturbed me because it was kind of like he became obsessed with her, and he's getting 46 years, which on one hand is like, oh, good, he got 46 years. But on another hand, I'm like, she's dead because he was obsessed with her. So anyway, Chinese man jailed for stamping on Genghis Khan portrait. And when they said stamping, I thought they meant stamping like a stamp, like, you know, like not a postage stamp, but you know how you like boom, and it's like a happy face or something. But they meant stamping like stomping, like ah. And it made me think back to being at this event when I was in college, and these people came and they had a picture of the Pope and they tore it up and they stomped on it, and they were talking about how, you know, the Catholic Church had been involved with the enslavement of black folks from the beginning and had become wealthy off of the enslavement of black folks. So forget the Pope. But anyway, in this case, they were saying you stamping on Genghis Khan. So that's like encouraging violence against his descendants, and so it's like a hate crime. And I was kind of like, dang, yeah. So that's why he went to jail. Sonia Gandhi retires as India Congress Party president. Sonia Gandhi wasn't Indian. Is that what I read in this article? And her son is moving into leadership, and her husband was in leadership. So it's like they got a family thing going on. Now, she turned down, I guess, the position of prime minister. And that's where I think I saw that she would have been the first non-Indian to have that position. But I just skimmed the article. Indian carol singers arrested after conversion complaint. You know how people go caroling like, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry... So the people was caroling, and the other people was like, I don't want to hear your Christmas carols. And also, on top of that, you were trying to convert me into Christianity, and that's not legal. So you're arrested. I'm complaining that you tried to convert me. And so the people got arrested. I've been caroling once or twice. I mean, I don't consider myself a Christian, but I'll carol. I mean, it's kind of intense out here in the world, the things that you think of, oh, I'm just going, you know, they tore up the picture and stamped on it. Now, when they did that to the Pope's picture, I was kind of like, oh, but I mean, I wasn't thinking somebody was going to come rush in and arrest him and take him to jail. Just like I've sing Christmas carols, but I don't be thinking of it like, you know, I guess because I'm like, I believe what I believe. Like I said what I said, and that's what I said. I don't feel like just because I sing a Christmas song or you sing a Christmas song to me, that then I'm going to convert, or that I have to feel nervous that you're going to force me to do something that that's not me. But that's like, I'm kind of like, in that, you know, so I guess I don't have to be worried, but I don't know. Egypt, ancient child burials found near Aswan. Russian ex-minister Ulyakayev gets 8 years for bribery. I think this is one of Putin's enemies. Sea lion attacks swimmer in San Francisco Bay. Remember the baby girl who was playing with the sea lion and then she turned her back on him and then the sea lion tried to pull her in the water? We saw that on the news about maybe in the summertime. And we were like, it was already some tension with the sea lion. They should have had that baby girl away from the edge of the thing, but the people jumped in and they saved her. Sea lions. I wonder about these animals, like, maybe the sea lions are mad. Maybe all of the animals are mad. Maybe the earth is mad. I don't know. Or maybe it's just an isolated. But they say usually you can like yell at the sea lions and they'll go away. But these sea lions, they was about to get this person. Sea lion. It was just one according to the headline. But the boat came and got the person. So they say they were lucky that the boat was there or they could have got. Tech companies have begun to solve one of their biggest problems, and it starts with the words they use in the job postings. So instead of saying, it's a killer environment and we taking them down, come join our team to beat the enemies, they say stuff like, we're a family. Join us as we bond together as a group and add love and joy to the world. If you use that kind of language, you attract women more. If you use we gonna get our enemies, you attract men more. So they try. The biggest issue in tech, they say, is they don't have enough women. This article. Here's how the Christmas tree tradition started. Before and after photos show how Ventura County has been ravaged by the wildfire. Video visitations virtually remove in-person contact between inmates, loved ones. We've been talking about this. I think it's some bull. I think it's inhuman. I remember when I was visiting my cousin and I would go and see him and hug him. And I feel like that's like human contact. That's like, it's inhumane for people to not have human contact. And I'm not saying that the other prisoners aren't humans, but anyway. But he know I don't have nothing for him but love. He ain't got to be. But anyway, 220 Ford employees to move offices to the factory in Corktown. Claire Stewart to take year-long sabbatical from BFI London Film Festival. Berlin Film Festival unveils first panorama titles for 2018. In Malaysia, religious concerns stall child bride reform. They had been making progress with no, don't marry off children. But, because I guess it's like a common practice in some parts of the world where a child gets raped, like a 12-year-old or a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old gets raped, and then the person who raped her is like, well, I'm going to marry her. And then the family and the community or whatever society is like, oh, okay, cool. And so that's like a common thing. And so, I guess there had been some progress made on cutting down on the children, getting married, whether they had been raped or not raped, and the female children. And now the religious people are like, that's our religion. Now you can't stop the children from getting married because that's what we believe is, godly, or, don't get me to lying about how it's religious. In Romania, royal funeral prompts regrets. The last sovereign person, like the last king of Romania has made his transition, and the person, like the children or whatever, they like, well, I'm just going to be the keeper of the crown. I'm not going to be the queen. So it's like it's a dying tradition, and people are looking back at it nostalgically like, oh, if only the king had come back. There was so much dignity and poise in the crown. We could have had this, we could have had that, and now we just had these elected officials or whatever. A new risk to our way of life. Britain says West must defend undersea cables from Russia. Happy birthday, Catherine Dunham. Mama Catherine, I think that was yesterday. Happy birthday, Ed Bradley. Ed Bradley, I think that was yesterday. 2 years after the declaration of state emergency in the Flint water crisis, activists say many have escaped accountability. Hell yeah. Meet the contemporary hunter-gatherers who live off the land in the American West. People are ripping Trump for a White House statement with a blindingly obvious flaw. I don't even know why I wrote that. Aren't all of his statements flawed? Alibaba will sell cars with a vehicle vending machine. France, Milas train crash. Children killed as bus cut in two. North Korean soldier who defected has been granted choco pies for life, a snack Kim Jong-un hates. He's the president of North Korea. So I guess when, a few years ago, since he hated him, he like nobody in North Korea can eat it. So this person now he gets to eat them. 24 ways to be healthier with little effort. E-waste is a huge and growing problem. In the U.S. is a big reason why. I was like, why? What's e-waste? Too many extra emails? But they mean like the actual phone, like what you do with the phone when you finish with it is waste, is causing trouble. Boston Globe report alleges ESPN has a culture of sexism and sexual misconduct against women. It's called patriarchy, and it's throughout the country, the world. Patriarchy. It ain't isolated to ESPN or Hollywood. Come on now, people. Omarosa Manigault says it was very lonely working in the White House. Staffers who had never worked with, she was very lonely working in the White House with staffers who had never worked with minorities. Oh, we have to gather up a place for Omarosa's tears. I don't know if we can call them white tears or if they black tears, but what does that mean? How South Korea names and shames tens of thousands of tax dodgers every year. An ad agency put graffiti artists and Instagram stars in charge and managed to pull in $30 million in revenue. They're trying to do stuff a different way. Venezuela's first lady's nephew jailed for drugs. Here's how much clean energy countries around the world are using. How Qatar is handling its conflict with Saudi Arabia. Qatar, who has Al Jazeera newspaper, they had $35 million in a cushion, and that's helping them to, Saudi Arabia tried to jack them up, but they had savings. It's kind of like personally, when you're not desperate, you can make different decisions than when you're desperate. So, yeah. That's just, let that be a lesson. Wife of lawmaker who killed himself amid sexual misconduct allegations plans to run for his seat. I think when I read the article, I'm like, these whole group of people are kind of different, special. I don't know. They just seem kind of like a different kind of people. South Africa's famed AMC risks split in choosing new leader. Refinery 29 lays off staff. Firefighter killed while battling massive California blaze. I think that's the first person to pass in the California blaze. DOJ says early release of FBI agent's private text to reporter was not authorized by the department. What are they doing over there at the FBI? What are they doing? All right. I know it's dark, y'all. Just forgive me and just, you can see my teeth. Today is the best day ever. You are the greatest. You are number one. We're working on 200 subscribers. So subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, I love you and appreciate you. If you just did, I love you and appreciate you too. And if you're going to do it tomorrow, I love you and appreciate you too. But don't do it tomorrow. Go on and do it today. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you. Be you. Be fabulous. Be fabulous you.